Welcome back to our afternoon session. We have 3 more fellows presenting this afternoon, exploring the issues on governance, peace, and development with dignity. Our first presenter this afternoon is Charlotte Cummings from Aotearoa, New Zealand. Her research is titled Mercy Governance Approaches to Caring for Our Common Home. Mercy Boards Responding to the Call of Laudato Si. Charlotte serves as trustee of FANO, Mercy Ministries. She examines how Mercy Governance Boards can lead ministries in responding to the urgent call of Laudato Si. Charlotte, the floor is yours.
Kia ora e te whānau atawhai. Warm New Zealand greetings to the Mercy family. Laudato Si, mi Signor. Praise be to you, my Lord. These are the words of St. Francis of Assisi, written in his Canticle to Creation 800 years ago. St. Francis gave thanks for all creation, the sun, moon, air, water, fire, and earth. Centuries later, in 2015, Pope Francis began his encyclical with those same words, but he places them in a new time, in our time, when all of creation is crying out in pain. We as people of mercy are attuned to the cry of earth and the cry of the poor. But how do we respond in a mercy way to the crises of our day and the urgent need to care for our common home? This is what I will explore in my presentation today, with a focus on how mercy governance boards might respond. I take great pride in being part of the global family of mercy people. I am one of many people whose lives have been shaped by the Sisters of Mercy and who find strength and challenge in the legacy of Catherine Macaulay. Catherine was a person who followed the teachings of Jesus, which compelled her to respond courageously to the needs of her time. There are no quotes from Catherine Macaulay on how to respond to the climate crisis and its many impacts. But we have a mercy way of responding, which is our legacy, scaffolding us as we seek to meet some of the biggest challenges of our time, challenges Laudato Si calls us to respond to. Undoubtedly, Laudato Si demands of us a personal response, to connect with the sacredness of creation, to examine our habits, to take heed of the needs of others, to challenge systems we are part of which damage people and planet. Though there is also a clear need for us to work collectively. We as people of mercy spread across the world are well placed to rise to this challenge together in our own contexts. All around the world there are mercy ministries which exist to meet various needs in healthcare, education, and through community services. Most of these ministries are overseen by some form of governance board responsible for leading the direction of the ministry. I believe the boards of mercy ministries have a sacred responsibility to lead with integrity and vision, attuned to the needs of our time, including the urgent need to care for our common home. Mercy governance boards have a key role to play in ensuring the call of Laudato Si is responded to across the mercy world and in the communities we serve. As part of my participation in the Mercy Emerging Leaders Fellowship Program, I have developed a resource for these boards, It is entitled Mercy Governance Approaches to Caring for Our Common Home, a reflective and practical guide for Mercy boards responding to the call of Laudato Si. The guide will be made available in the next week from the time of this recording on the Mercy International Association website. With my presentation time today, I'm going to talk you through the main elements of this resource. First, the guide summarises the call of Laudato Si. The central call of Laudato Si is towards an integral ecology, where we recognise the interdependence of all creation and the moral imperative to care for both people and planet. Laudato Si draws our attention to the reality that the ecological crisis is not separate from the social challenges faced by vulnerable communities. In fact, it is deeply interconnected. Climate change, pollution, loss of biodiversity, and the degradation of natural resources disproportionately affects the poorest and most marginalised. So too, the perspective of integral ecology challenges us to see how our beliefs and loss of connection with Earth and one another contributes to the outcomes we see in the world around us. Integral ecology calls us to see the world not through fragmented lenses, economic, environmental, social, and spiritual, but as a whole. It is a vision of radical interconnectedness, where every decision impacts all of life. And so too, we can see that every act of care contributes to the healing of our common home and all creation. Integral ecology is a way of understanding the world that emphasises the interconnectedness of people and planet, social justice and environmental sustainability, spiritual life and material choices, global systems and local realities. In my view, it is vital that Mercy governance boards embrace integral ecology in their thinking and their planning. This is a key concept that must be understood and reflected on by those entrusted with leading Mercy ministries today. The issues faced by people and planet are not resolved by simplistic views, and we must move beyond thinking that just having a recycling program or offsetting our carbon emissions fulfills the end of our commitment. Mercy governance boards need to embrace the challenge to not just plan actions, but to adopt different ways of listening, reflecting, and thinking about the issues within the communities they serve and beyond, informed and enriched by this perspective of integral ecology. An integral ecology perspective is deeply challenging, but it is also an invitation into a powerful way of relating with the world around us and the issues that we collectively face. Our world's problems can be nothing short of overwhelming, but we as Mercy people stand on the shoulders of those who know how to face daunting issues without being daunted. And the concept of integral ecology can help us in prioritising meaningful and effective actions that ripple to wider, impactful change. Next, the guide explores how Laudato Si links with the Mercy charism. It is vitally important that we as Mercy people and those in Mercy governance roles understand how the challenge of Laudato Si fits with our Mercy charism. For Mercy ministries, Laudato Si is not simply a call to action. It is a summons to live our charism more fully in a time of global urgency. The Mercy charism holds care, compassion, and courageous action at its heart. When we reflect on the ministry of Catherine Macaulay and the early Mercy sisters, we see them responding to the pressing needs of their time with clarity of purpose and deep reliance on God. They acted, they thought creatively, they built, they supported, They did the things they knew would most affect change. Today, it is through this same charism that we can respond to the ecological and social crises of our era. Mercy governance boards are uniquely placed to be part of leading the Mercy response by setting direction, shaping culture, and allocating resources in a way that reflects Mercy values and the ecological teaching of Laudato Si. While the ecological crisis is global in scale, it demands localised, context-specific responses. Mercy boards around the world, whether in healthcare, education, housing, social services, or other ministries, are each situated in unique cultural, environmental, and political landscapes, and can make a local response. Pope Francis names the exploitation of creation and the exclusion of those made poor as part of the same moral crisis. He writes, "Today we have to realise that a true ecological approach always becomes a social approach, so as to hear both the cry of earth and the cry of the poor." This is a profoundly Mercy message, and the Sisters of Mercy have always stood where the cry of earth and the cry of the poor meet. Laudato Si gives us theological clarity and global urgency behind what the Mercy tradition has long embodied. And indeed, around the world today, there are many shining examples of where Mercy people are leading work that brings together response to people and planet. Laudato Si introduces us to this idea of ecological conversion. Ecological conversion is not just about changing our behaviour, it is about reorienting our hearts. It invites us to see creation as sacred, to acknowledge our complicity in systems that harm, and to commit ourselves to new ways of living that honour life in all its forms. This resonates deeply with the Mercy charism, which calls for a posture of humility, compassion, and active concern. Catherine Macaulay's legacy is one of courageous response to suffering, grounded in deep trust in God and a tireless commitment to those in need. In our time, this legacy calls us to respond to the suffering of the planet and its peoples, and to do so with both love and strong leadership. As Mercy governance boards, integrating Laudato Si into leadership is not about adding one more initiative. It is about reimagining our entire mission through a deeper theological lens, keeping our hearts and minds moved. Integral ecology helps boards respond to this crisis in a way that is wholehearted, whole system, and indeed holy mercy. From this foundation of integral ecology and presenting how the Mercy charism fits with the call of Laudato Si, the guide takes a next step, exploring what the Mercy way of responding might look like and giving resources to assist boards. Nearly 200 years on from when Catherine's ministry began in this house, there have been many social challenges which have remained, and indeed many new challenges have emerged. However, a key learning for us is not simply the kinds of issues Catherine and the Sisters of Mercy before us responded to, but the manner of their response. We can learn a lot from the types of responses Catherine and her sisters made to the issues they observed around them. The Mercy Way is a distinctive approach to action, leadership, and service that flows from the life, values, and spirituality of Catherine Macaulay and the Sisters of Mercy. It is less about what is done and more about how it is done, with deep attentiveness to the person, the presence of God in the everyday, and a commitment to dignity, justice, and compassion. Mercy governance boards who wish to respond to the challenges issued in Laudato Si have a special call, to do so in a manner which is informed by the mercy charism and what I call the mercy way. I also believe that we as mercy people leading into the future must consistently come back to reflecting on the mercy way. When I look at how Catherine and the Sisters of Mercy responded, I see the following. The mercy way is rooted in compassion and relationship, inclusive of others wishing to join us, embracing of the wisdom of Indigenous peoples, showing love and care practically in action, filled with quiet strength and courage, collaborative and consultative, listening deeply and drawing on collective wisdom, empowering of others, permission giving to the young, sending people forth, storytelling, sharing why we do what we do, responding with dignity and justice, prioritising the needs of the poor, courageous and bold, and it holds spirituality as central. So too, these factors can challenge mercy governance boards as they consider how they mobilise their ministries to action in response to Laudato Si. And I make no mistake, this mercy way is significant for us to try to live up to. So how can mercy governance boards respond to the challenges of Laudato Si in a way which is fully embracing of the mercy charism and inspired by the mercy way? The answer really is in lots of ways. The response will and should look different in different contexts. Therefore, a challenge for mercy governance boards is to continually measure and reflect on what they are doing. And with this in mind, I have offered the following tools within this guide. The guide contains 3 key tools to support boards. Firstly, there are some suggested key performance indicators for mercy governance boards who wish to evaluate their progress against the central principles of Laudato Si. It covers key areas: policies and planning, decision-making, collaboration, membership, input and engagement, education, advocacy, and action. A range of indicators are offered across each of these domains, allowing boards to evaluate their efforts and plan their next steps. This is designed to be used periodically by a mercy governance board. Secondly, there is a framework for decision-making, a series of questions which have been developed to assist boards in considering the decisions that they are making against the key principles of Laudato Si. And finally, I have offered 4 formation reflection activities mercy governance boards can utilise to support their trustees and staff into greater knowledge, reflection and engagement with integral ecology and Laudato Si, and their application in the context of the community they serve. I'll now draw to a conclusion. Catherine Macaulay could have never imagined the crises of our day. However, she knew how to respond to the issues of her time with courage, hope, and action. The charism we embrace as mercy people connects powerfully with the call of Laudato Si and integral ecology. We need to see this and know that we are equipped and inspired, ready to take the kinds of powerful actions we need to take. I hope that the guide that has been created will serve mercy governance boards to engage at a deeper level with the challenges of Laudato Si and to find inspiration in how they respond in the mercy way. Finally, I would like to leave you with this point of reflection. We as mercy people are likely familiar with the story of the early Sisters of Mercy, being known as the Walking Sisters. These sisters, in whose footsteps we follow, met many needs in their community across Dublin: education, hospital care, caring for the poor. Indeed, they walked towards the needs of their day. And so our mercy challenge is to walk towards the needs of our time. Undoubtedly, the need to care for our common home, to hear both the cry of earth and the cry of those made poor are the needs of our time. May we put on our boots and walk with courage.
Indeed, how do we respond to the call of Laudato Si, the mercy way? Thank you, Charlotte, for reminding us that we have to engage deep listening and be attentive to the needs of those people who are mostly affected, to embrace integral ecology. Thank you so much, Charlotte. Okay, so the table is open for questions. Can we have the first question, McKenna? Oh, Libby, thank you.
Hi, I'm Libby Blom from Australia. Thank you very much, Charlotte, for that wonderful presentation. I just have a question for you about ensuring you have the right people on the boards that will do the work that Laudato Si is really calling for. How can you construct a way in which those people are found and invited into these boards?
Yeah, great question. One of the key performance indicators is about membership. So a challenge for each board is to actually look at who is sitting around the table. And if this is an urgent challenge of our time, then we need to have at least someone sitting around the table who's going to champion the cause of care for our common home. So one of the things I'm encouraging boards to do is think about the membership of their group. And also in the formation activities, everyone has the opportunity for that personal conversion, for that change of heart, to pick up this baton and really see the urgency on these issues. So I would hope that we, through this resource, can take some of those people on a bit of a journey of their own conversion of their hearts and minds too.
Hi, Charlotte. Wonderful job. I'm McKenna from the US. I really loved your presentation, and I was curious if there was a moment in your life that really impacted you between Laudato Si and then just caring for the environment in general that was like, this is the kind of work I want to get into.
Yeah. It was quite a personal moment when my 2.5-year-old child yelled at a woman walking down the street out the top 2-story window of our house to say, "Don't you know plastic is bad for the world?" And I thought, wow, if a 2.5-year-old can get this and shout at a random stranger with this sense of urgency and the conviction of, well, you mustn't know, because if you did know, then you would not be doing that. So that simplicity of how children approach this issue, the sense of, when we look at Catherine, she trusted the young. She sent young people to go and make change in the world and to walk towards the issues of the day. So I take great encouragement, and I'm so amazed at how children will hold this and how natural it is for them to see the urgency, for them to see the dignity in all people and creation.
Thank you, Charlotte. Any question online? Thank you.
Thank you. There's some feedback, Charlotte. So Alexis Stevens, a former fellow and now on the board of MIA, says, "A brilliant presentation, Charlotte. Thank you for inviting us to consider the use of Laudato Si as a framework for how we practice governance in Mercy communities." And Sister Mary Wood says, "Well done, Charlotte." And Sister Susan Ryder says, "Charlotte, do you see a place for integrating all of the different Mercy Earth Centres and other Earth-centred endeavours so that we might link together with the purpose of strong cooperation?
Yeah, great question, thank you. One of the things that I have put on the key performance indicators is around collaboration, because obviously we have lots of choices in the kinds of actions that we take, and it makes sense for us as the Mercy world, even thinking about Mercy initiatives in particular countries or regions, to join together to make the most impact that we can. And part of that is that actually we tell the story as we go about the actions that we take. We talk about why we have this respect for creation, why we hold the dignity of each person as being so sacred, and we can do that much better en masse with some good collaboration.
Thank you, and there's one more affirmation from Sister Denise Fox. Thank you, Charlotte, for an excellent presentation and a valuable resource to support boards in embracing care for our common home. And from Sister Mary Kinyi from Kenya, great work done on Laudato Si.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Charlotte. Thank you for giving us a practical framework for mercy governance grounded on the charism of Catherine Macaulay. Thank you so much.